All right, we're recording. Let me get the intro and let's roll, yeah?
Let's do it.
All righty, here we go.
Now, the Wicked Fast Podcast with Longboy and Timmy G.
Hey, this is Dale Jr.
Hey, this is Jeff Gordon.
Hey, this is William Byron.
Hey, this is Kyle Busch.
Hey, guys, this is Ross Chastain.
Hey, this is Joey Logano.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney.
Hey, it's Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell.
Hey, this is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Hey, this is Kevin Harvick.
You're listening to
Wicked Fast Podcast.
Come on, try a little more New England.
Wicked Fast.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hello, this is the Wicked Fast Podcast.
Now, to anyone out there who wants to go fast, anybody.
I want to go fast.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yeah!
Woohoo! Hey.
All right.
Hey there.
Guest episode. Wow, 279. Wow.
We're getting there.
All right, Brian Bell here.
Timmy G over here. What's up? How we doing?
You over there. Good. And of course, we got a lot to talk about this week for Wicked Fast Podcast. And big win for Tyler Reddick. I don't know who could have called that on the last podcast. Woo, who could it be? Oh, it was me. I called it. That's right. And of course, you could find us.
So humble.
I know. Well, hey, when I'm right, you gotta.
Yeah, when you're right,
sure
you're right.
Knows. When I'm right, when it's rare. It's very rare. Anyway, you can find us on the Twitter machine at Wicked Fast PDCST. All the other socials at Wicked Fast Podcast. We just couldn't quite get enough letters for the Twitter or X, whatever it's called now.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
And please subscribe to our YouTube channel that is up now. We're posting the video as the podcast as a video since we record it over Zoom and everything. So that's you can watch it, listen, do a little bit of both, and maybe next week we will stream live to YouTube just as a little test, so we can get people to click it, subscribe it, like it, all that stuff.
And then hopefully in person by the end of the season.
That would be nice.
In a completely different format. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But stay tuned for next week because I actually got a job, so I have to start an actual working job next week. So, thank you very much. So I'll be over at GBH, Fine Broadcasting.
So pumped for you. So cool. Pumped.
So stay tuned. We should probably be doing this a live earlier. Podcast.
Yeah, it'll just be earlier. You'll still get the podcast. We'll get it's just gonna be early.
We just got to figure out everybody's schedule. It'll be good.
Yeah.
So hey,
adjust accordingly.
What's up?
How we doing?
We're good. I know. Now the football season has started too. Fantasy can be difficult because I was texting you desperately when you had Bubba Wallace in the garage and he was leading the race, and MTJ.
I also had MTJ in my lineup as well because I thought it was going to be a Toyota dominant day, which obviously it was, just not the Toyotas that I had in my lineup.
Not quite that one.
Yeah, I literally it was almost a Brian Bell situation when it came to my fantasy lineup. If it was the week prior, I would have destroyed everyone.
Yeah, we'll get into fantasy in a little bit because I have to gloat some more. Anyway.
No, but I do appreciate those texts because I was hanging out with Tom Brady. I mean, I wasn't personally, but I was there.
Yeah, you were. You were in the company of
Tom
Brady.
So and I do appreciate it. I literally when you sent me the text about MTJ, the first change of possession for the TV timeout, I ran up the stairs
to try to get a signal.
And I was able to change it, and then I ran back down the stairs.
Good, because I was very concerned, and then Bubba kind of didn't.
And then at least Bubba got me some points.
He did. It was better than
just not what I wanted.
But yeah, because at the time that I texted you, it was a difference of 35 points or something. It's Anyway, so that was good. I did not realize the commemorative ticket. I just thought you were an amazing ticket guy, and look at you sitting in row 12, seat 12. Section 12.
No,
that's incredible. And then I saw another friend of mine post it, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, can you imagine me like, I'd like section 112, which is a dead
12.
center 50-yard line in the 12th row in the 12th seat.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay $1,212.12. I love Tommy.
Yeah.
But no. But I mean, speaking of one GOAT, we can talk about how the GOAT of another sport who now owns a car won a race again at Kansas.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And what a move by Tyler Reddick.
I could see it coming too. And I'm like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. It opened up and he just did that nice dive. Oh, it was beautiful.
It was a definition of a 3-lane switch on 93. But just much faster. You know, you just see that just see the car and you're like,
it is much faster on 93. When you go, oh, that's my exit.
Yeah, that was my lane. Well, what would have been interesting is if Erik Jones didn't block Denny Hamlin the way that he did, because I mean, Denny Hamlin off a 2 on the final lap because Tyler Reddick made the pass as the white came out.
Right.
But it would have been very interesting to see if Erik Jones let Denny Hamlin ride that run that he had off a 2 if he would have caught up.
Yeah. And is the 45 car the only car that Denny wouldn't spin for a win?
Nah.
Does that come into it at all? That like, ooh, I kind of own that car. I don't really want to.
No, because you can see him on his podcast the week after being just like, hey, you know what?
Hey, I
own that car. And with the amount of money that I won during that race, I was willing to, pay those repairs. My team's moving on to the playoffs. And because if we win the championship because of this win that I have, that I'm only throwing more money into the 2311 project in the future.
If anyone's going to wreck the car that I own, it's me.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it would have been a thing. It would have been a thing for sure. It would have been a thing. But the question is now that he's won that situation, is he like the car to beat? He finished second at Darlington. He finished first in obviously at Kansas. He's the hottest car right now in the circuit, but these tracks also play to his driving style. Up against the wall, open, super wide open, no matter where it is on the track, but you're not getting that at Bristol. You're really not getting that at Texas because it is so fast.
Yeah.
You're not, he's obviously a good road course guy. So the Roval obviously helps him out. We have some news about the Roval.
I actually saw that in your notes.
We have some news about the Roval.
Stay tuned.
But I feel like for this stage or for this round, this is the perfect track for Tyler Reddick to get a bleep ton of, what's the word I'm looking for? Momentum moving forward into maybe a round that isn't the best because the next round's Talladega.
Yep.
Good
Who
luck.
knows?
All the cars are fast. It's anyone's game. It's just how aggressive you can block. So, I mean, between him and Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, I mean, those are the 3 hottest guys and the 3 hottest teams right now heading into most likely round 2, no matter what happens at Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And speaking of Kyle Larson.
Yeah. Had a little dust up with your boy.
I mean, they hate each other, right?
It doesn't seem like they're the best of friends.
They always get into a beef.
And it wasn't even Kyle Larson's fault on pit road because Brad Kay popped out of his stall and Kyle Larson had to kind of give it a,
I mean, no one's really at fault. I mean, if that was a skinnier pit road, maybe like a Martinsville or something.
Yeah. I
think Kyle would have waited.
Yeah.
But that is a pretty big pit road. I mean, they were with Brad Kay. They were basically 4 across.
Yeah.
And you can understand Chase's frustration at the time when he kind of ran down the track to kind of cut him off. And then after the race, and then Chase admittedly said, hey, I saw the video. We talked, he even said it's a good thing that him and I can talk like adults and talk it out and we're good. And Kyle Larson, even after the race, was just like, yeah, I think he'll see why. I understand why he was upset, but I think he'll see why. So.
Yep. But that was interesting. It was a good race. There was a lot of good racing in there. It was fun.
Yeah,
MTJ.
some good racing. Yeah,
I know we talked about him because now he's really up against it.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Truex Jr. finishing, he had the third lap, fourth lap, had that cut tire.
Well, yeah, he finished 3. It was on the 4th lap.
Yeah, it was on the 4th lap. He finished 36. And because of that, he went from second to start the round of 12 to now 13th and 7 points up.
I mean, that's crazy. But it also shows you how well the other playoff drivers are doing. Like they're all doing all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get one that's about as bad as you can go, is going out on the 4th lap of a race.
Yeah. He
that's
finished
about as bad as you can do.
36th in Kansas. And then he finished 18th with no stage points. And if he did get a stage point, maybe one at Darlington. So they just straight up just haven't had, hold on, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he got 0 stage points at Darlington, 0 stage points in Kansas with an 18th and a 36th place finish. That ain't going to cut it no matter how big of a lead you got.
Yeah. No.
As a regular season champion. Because I think him and William Byron were tied with the same amount of points. Because
I know. I mean, that's like a team going into the playoffs being like the number 1, pick to win it and then losing in the first round.
Yeah,
but we don't know what that's like here in Boston.
It's literally like the Milwaukee Bucks
or the Bruins.
Oh, I didn't know we were still allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, that happened. Anyway,
but yeah, it is absolutely crazy what has happened to Martin.
And I was loving Bubba's run. That was great. But I mean, a few people had some tire issues. Yeah, and I think Kansas just kind of eats up some tires. They get some weird, tires just blowing up. And really, Tyler Reddick owes it to Chris Busch's tire blowing up to get the win, really. So, it all comes down to those weird tire things.
Because if not, maybe Joey Logano gets that win. And then Joey Logano, who's currently in 11th and could be out of the playoffs because he's only 12 points up on someone like Martin Truex Jr., he's now winning. And that shoots him up the leaderboard. And
it's amazing how much things can change in just those last couple of laps.
Yep, it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But all right, well, since we're talking about standings with Joey Logano, here's the playoff standings, and then we'll get into fantasy real quick. So obviously Kyle Larson winning at Darlington, Tyler Reddick winning at Kansas.
I'm going to do this. Let me see.
There's your round of 12, or your first 2 drivers going into the round of 12, which means there's only 10 spots left.
There it is.
Yeah, so if you scroll up, you can see that basically Kyle Busch to Denny Hamlin is pretty much secured unless something drastic happens. It's pretty much secured because even if you go out and you finish, let's just say, for example, you finish 30th like AJ Allmendinger did in Kansas, you get 7 points. And let's say, Martin Truex Jr. gets 38 points, Kyle Busch will be okay. Yeah. It's one of those type of situations. So really Kyle Busch up unless something absolutely banana land happens, and it could happen. All those guys are safe. But when you look at someone like Ross Chastain or Chris Buescher, they should be fine. They should be okay. But basically Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, and Martin Truex Jr., there's 2 spots available, and all 4 of those guys could get them. I feel like the guys that are under the cut line, I feel like Martin Truex Jr. is going to come back like a maniac. So it's Bubba. Who out of those? This isn't a shot at Bubba, but I think we're being brutally honest here. Bubba isn't the mental, the strongest upstairs when it comes to adversity. Yeah, in certain situations, and 500 laps at Bristol.
I think he might psych himself out a little bit.
You got to be rock solid. I mean, you saw the pressure that he put on himself on that final race, just getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now your playoff life is
Here
on
we
the
are
line.
again.
And here we are again.
to stay
And
in
like
the
you're going to have to
playoffs.
win a stage to get yourself a playoff point, to get yourself 10 points, and then hope that Kevin Harvick doesn't move on. And then guess what? You're still 16 points behind him, even if he gets 0 points and you get a stage win. So, and Kevin Harvick has always been solid there. And I think nothing against Bubba, but it's Kevin Harvick's last year. I want Kevin Harvick moving on.
Yeah.
I want Kevin Harvick to see what he can do at Texas and Talladega and Roval, and then go from there. But like,
I'd like him to stay in it. And
you know,
really
if Christopher Bell doesn't make it, but Bubba does, okay, Christopher Bell's going to be in the playoffs for years and years and years and years to come.
And it's fun. I feel like Ross Chastain has just not, as you talk about the hot drivers, I feel like he's just a not driver right now. He's kind of there, but he's not really.
Yeah, he finished
doing what he did
13th
before,
in Kansas, and then he finished 5th in Darlington. So they're doing what you should be doing.
They're
getting some stage points, having good finishes, and that's how you move on. But it's not someone you're saying to yourself, oh, I think he's a Final Four candidate. I mean, the Final Four candidates right now, the way you look at it, are probably Denny, Tyler, Kyle, and then, to be honest with you, either Chris Buescher or William Byron. I mean, Chris Buescher doesn't have that cut tire. The playoff standings look completely different at the end of that Kansas race. So,
no, that's true. Very true. All right. Do we want to hit fantasy or just?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's hit fantasy. And we get the fantasy up here. All right. Well, would you look at that? I won. I won.
I don't think that's
fantasy.
ever happened. I don't think I've picked a winner in one fantasy, or you picked the winner in one fantasy. So this is a first. It only took us 279 episodes to do it, but we did it.
Yep. And I beat the entire house down the street. Double chump, ladies' night race, left turns for days. John, Jen, and Jackson, all from down the street, came in second, third.
Good to see that they're using their old cheating ways. They're like, we can't stand this anymore.
They are back. They're back in full force. And do we ride it well? Let's see. Oh, there you are down there. Oh boy, that was rough. That was rough.
It hasn't been a great playoffs for me. I don't even think I bet you I'm not even top 10.
So, and then here's the playoff standings in the fantasy. John Boyd's LeBaron up front. Double chump in second. Do we ride his driving school? Ladies night race, and I am in fifth right now. Fan number 1, Matt, sixth. NASCAR guy Nate in seventh. There's Jackson in eighth. Oh boy,
oh, embarrassing.
You're top 10. You're top 10, and it's pretty tight. You know, it's not too bad. You could pick it up.
Okay.
So there we go. There's your quick fantasy recap. I won't gloat too much because it's probably not going to happen again. But it was pretty exciting when I was watching the race. And I do appreciate it. It is nice of Martin Truex Jr. to go out so early so I could just put him in the garage. And
I mean, talk about respect.
That's all I can do. There you
go.
Go. Don't have any more moves to make. I can just sit back and watch what happens and not get annoyed that the guy that I put in the garage wins the race, because that's what normally happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there you go. And we'll cover Bristol in a minute. We got some news and notes. You got some stuff.
Yeah. And just some other updates. Obviously, the Xfinity regular season ended. So they only do round of 12 to start their playoffs. So not the Cup guys are always like basically a round behind them, if you will, or ahead of them, depending on how you look at it. So John Hunter Nemechek is first, followed by Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier, and then spots 4 to 8, Cole Custer, Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith, Josh Berry, Sheldon Creed, and then below that cut line, Sammy Smith, Jeb Burton, Daniel Hemrick, and Parker Kligerman. Kaz finished 17th overall in the standings. Great season for Kaz. Hopefully he can get another win here. And then we also wanted to CJ.
Oh yeah. You know, we should say congratulations to CJ, because he's a dad now.
Yeah. So hopefully he's being a great dad that he is and watching the podcast. So CJ, congratulations. And they finished 22nd at Kansas after starting like 35th or 36th.
Yeah.
So
no, nice job. Nice job.
Yeah,
and
great job by them.
He now has a daughter, Miss Millie Breslin McLaughlin. So congratulations. That's great.
Yeah,
to
congratulations
to
to
CJ.
He's the
CJ and
best.
Kimmy. Way to go. That's awesome. You're in for it now, buddy.
Yeah. Good luck
Oh,
with
boy.
that.
Oh boy.
All right. And as far as news and notes, we'll start
Yeah.
off with NSYNC just released a new song.
What?
So we could start there. Yep. Because I mean, that's big news, isn't it?
They did.
No?
Didn't
Yeah.
I just well they got together on the VMAs, right?
They're going to go on a tour.
Well, of course they are. They're all broke now. And Justin Timberlake, nobody likes him anymore.
I like Justin Timberlake.
Nah, he's kind of a jerk. Him and Jimmy.
Really?
Him and Jimmy Fallon, they're both kind of jerks.
Oh, I
yeah.
see. I've never liked Jimmy Fallon from day one. The day Jimmy
same.
Fallon. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't laugh during every single SNL skit you're on. You can't
Yeah.
do it. It's so funny. And the way he interviews on his show, it's terrible. It's awful.
He's not.
All right. But anyways, more importantly,
Little sidetrack there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SVG 2024
I don't know that
in
group.
NASCAR. Is it? Yeah. SVG. Yeah. SVG is the newest boy
SVG,
band.
NSYNC, and 98 Degrees are all going to be going on tour.
SVG, not Stan Van Gundy, but Shane Van Gissenberg or
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
I can never pronounce it, but anyways, at least I did a better job than Rick Allen. SVG is 2024, will be in all three national NASCAR series, not
Jumping
doing
right
every
in.
single race, but a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. Cup, Xfinity, Truck. He'll be a part of it in 2024. It's going to be part of their developmental program.
Yeah, developmental deal, right? So you can kind of get a chance to try it all out.
And then if I were to guess, I'm going to guess 2025, he's in Xfinity, crushes it, and then 2026, he's full-time Cup. That's going to be my guess.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Noah Gragson, obviously, he was an idiot on social media, but he went through all the process with everything. He will now be reinstated by NASCAR, and he'll be running in the ASA Stars National Tour Class City 200 at Toledo Speedway this weekend. And he released a statement saying thank you to NASCAR, and he's hoping to be back in the Cup Series soon. So that's that. And then most importantly, the Roval. It's coming up. We all love the Roval, especially during the playoffs. And Elliott Sawyer announced that stage breaks are coming back.
They must have heard us.
They must have been like, those Wicked Fast podcast guys are pissed.
They are really onto something.
Yeah.
A road course without, a caution at a stage break to bunch everybody up. It just gets ridiculous.
I actually would have been okay with it just at Indy, but when you do it in back-to-back races, when you have back-to-back road courses, just strong no from me, dog. But no,
So,
that's the way
I'm
it
glad-
should be in the playoffs. Strategy is important. The restarts are
Yep.
important. The atmosphere, the viewership.
Yeah.
Because Kansas was down 6.5% from last year, which is a large number. But I guess you can blame week one on that.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to Bristol. Short track.
Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby. Short track, under the lights, the Coliseum, the whole shebang. The Bass Pro Shops night race on Saturday, folks, not Sunday, Saturday, which is great for us
Hopefully.
local Patriots fans because we have Sunday night football.
Yep.
And sidetrack, if you haven't looked at the prices, they're cheap on Ticketmaster. Like you can get in for under $100.
Well, Tom Brady's not going to be there. Probably still not as cheap as a Red Sox ticket. There's a doubleheader today. I wonder who's going to go to that first game.
Yeah, with school and all that.
Oof.
Yeah, that's probably
They had
pretty
like 10,000 people in the stands the other day for the first game of a doubleheader against the Yankees, battling for last place.
Just awful. Awful.
Horrible.
All right. So Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. USA Network, and then practice and qualifying will start at 4:30 in the afternoon on Friday on USA. So probably by 7:00, everything will be ready to go for fantasy and all that stuff. All right.
Good.
So we've had 2 playoff races here since they started the dirt track. The first one was won back in 2021 with Kyle Larson. Kevin Harvick came in second. William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Brad Kay, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. Those are all the playoff drivers this year that finished in the top 10. Last year, Chris Buescher won. He was another non-playoff driver that won.
Now he's in them.
And now he's in them. So Chris Buescher is obviously a positive. Chase Elliott, who is just flying up the owner's standings because of how well he's been doing this playoffs. He's gone from 16th to 8th in the owner's standings. So Mr. Hendrick must be just ecstatic. He came in second in this race. And then William Byron, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick, they all finished in the top 10 as well.
Ooh.
Very interesting that Martin Truex Jr. or Bubba Wallace isn't mentioned in that group.
Ooh, that's true.
Yep. All right. After this race, the big story were whatever English, stupid. How upset all the Cup drivers were about the durability of these next gen cars on these very short, aggressive tracks. So it'll be very interesting to see how the teams will adjust to that and how the drivers will as well.
And how the cars will hold up.
Exactly. Because 500 miles at Bristol is insane. So the last two races of the next gen car on this track, not including the dirt, top 10 in fantasy points: Kyle Larson, William Byron, Brad Kay, Denny Hamlin, Harvick, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, if you need a non-playoff guy, and Chris Buescher. But I didn't think that was very fun. 2 races. That's stupid, right? Just to do fantasy off 2 races.
Yeah.
So I decided to spiral and do the 7 races this season where the tracks have been 1 mile or less. So short track season. Okay. So top 5 in points: Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Ryan Blaney. Your winners: 2 Martin Truexes, 2 Kyle Larsons, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Chris Buescher. Most laps led: Kyle Larson with 399, William Byron with 374. So clearly Chevy and Hendrick must have something cooking.
Yep.
Top 5 finishes. There are 7 drivers with 3 top 5 finishes over the last 7 races of tracks that are equal to 1 mile or less. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, mentioning him again. Interesting. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, and Kevin Harvick. Most top 10 finishes. There are 2 drivers that have finished in the top 10, 5 out of the 7 races, and their spots 10 and 12. Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell. Not ideal for Denny. For Bubba or Martin Truex Jr. Hearing those numbers.
Yep.
Then there are 6 other drivers with 4 top 10 finishes: Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, again, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Martin Truex Jr. So 4 drivers have an average of a top 10 finish, and it's actually a good sign for Martin Truex Jr. because he's one of them. It's just Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, and Chase Briscoe. I mean, not Chase Briscoe, but the Kevin Harvick.
The other guys that are right around him.
The other guys that are right around him aren't ideal. The guys who have the worst average finish on these short tracks: Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at 19.6. He obviously needs a win to get in. Michael McDowell and Brad Kay have 16.9. Both of those guys, Michael McDowell needs to win to get in, and Brad Kay just needs to survive. Then, he'll be fine.
16th place would be all right for him. And
absolutely.
He should be fine to move on. In this
absolutely.
One. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to watch. Let's see. Who do you think? Who you got?
Chase Elliott.
William Byron.
Okay.
Yep. He's going to turn it on because he's had a good year. Let's check the fantasy matchups for the race.
All right. Yeah. Let's go NASCAR. Give me a Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson matchup. Toronto.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So here we go.
All right. Give me a driver and I'll guess the other.
Martin Truex Jr.
Kevin Harvick.
Nailed it.
Great. 1 for 1.
All right. Bubba Wallace.
Christopher Bell.
No, close.
Joey Logano.
Nailed it.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Christopher Bell.
Don't tell me it's like Chris Buescher.
Nailed it.
Okay.
All right. I don't think you'll get either driver in this last matchup.
Oh, let me guess then. You ready?
All right.
Alex Bowman
Nope.
versus. Oh, okay. Then I'll just do the original one
Although
that we always.
although it's
Ty
funny
Gibbs.
because nope.
Okay.
They're two good big names, and one guy who you mentioned as being pretty good at a short track that you wouldn't think about.
Chase Briscoe,
My guy, Ryan
Blaney, and Brad Kay.
Kyle Busch.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Kind of.
That's
big names,
actually a
but
fun
it's-
one because
It is actually
Kyle
not
Busch
bad.
is what? Kyle Busch is 7th. Blaney's 6th. They're 1 point apart. Okay,
Yeah.
so there was a little thought behind that.
Yeah.
Versus
that's
just
pretty
going, is Monster sponsoring us this week? Okay, we'll put Ty Gibbs in.
But I thought that was pretty good. Some good names there.
Yeah,
And way to
we'll
go.
take it.
You nailed them.
Yep.
All right. So good. We done?
Yep.
All right. Stay tuned for next week because we'll see when we're doing it. We'll
Yep.
figure it out because I
Mhm.
got to go back to work and do like a real job to, make money to pay bills instead of just sitting around here talking about NASCAR for free.
About NASCAR for forever.
Yeah. All right. You can find us, of course, on the Twitter machine, X at WickedFast, PDCST, everywhere else at WickedFast Podcast. Try to find us on the YouTube. Subscribe. We're going to try to go live to YouTube next week as a little experiment. So make sure you subscribe to the Wicked Fast Podcast YouTube channel. And then we're on Instagram, Facebook, all that. And we'll catch you next week. And of course, it's football season. Download that WinBet app. Use code XBN Wicked and get your, what do you do? Deposit $20, you get 100, something like that.
You deposit
$20.
$20, and you bet that $20.
Yeah.
And then you get another $100 to bet on, and you can have some fun.
Have you made any money last week? Any NFL betting?
I saw this reel recently saying that the last 84% of NFL games with spreads, the favorite has won every single time. So you should focus more on the money line than you
Okay.
should the actual favorite of the game.
Interesting. How's that working out for you?
No, I didn't do it because
Oh,
I was so
this
caught
is-
off guard. I was
you're-
watching it as I was tailgating, and I was just like,
Okay.
so that means 16% of the time when you pick the spread, you're gonna be wrong and not win. The other way around. Like 84% of the time, whenever you pick it, you're not gonna win any money.
Hmm.
But the other
That doesn't-
16% you would. So why take those odds? Just go straight up money line.
Seems like gambling. It's easy to lose.
More at 11.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
All
Goodbye.
right. Bye-bye.